Okay, these are the pattern pieces you need to make this draped skirt. You've got two front pattern pieces. One is plain and the other piece is a draped piece that goes over the top. You need to use a fabric with a good amount of stretch for this garment. The maximum stretch needs to go around the body. Using sharp scissors, notch your seam allowances, the tucks, centre front, centre back and the hems. This will allow you to remove the pattern pieces and still be able to see the relevant markings. Take the front pattern pieces with the tucks that you have notched and pin the tucks into position. Stitch them through on the machine to hold them in place. Do this just inside the stitching line so that when you sew over it later, it will be hidden. Don't sew over your pins, it doesn't do the needle any good. Remove them as you get to them. Trim your threads as you sew, this will give you a much neater finish. Fold and pin up the hem of this piece and stitch it up on the machine. I have not neatened this fabric because it won't fray, but you may like to by using a zigzag or an overlocker if you have one. Place the drape front over the plain front and pin together at the side seams. Stitch these together to hold them in place before you sew the back on. Repeat this step on both sides. Now you can pin the back to the front and stitch on the garment side of your previous holding stitch. You can neaten these seams too at this point if you like, but a knitted fabric you don't need to neaten, but it is a much neater finish if you do. Sew the waistband together to make a tube. Measure the elastic to fit comfortably around your waist, allowing a 2 cm overlap. When you put the elastic around your waist, or if you have a stand like I'm using here, make sure the elastic is sitting comfortably so that you can put your finger inside the elastic between your waist or the stand's waist and it's not too tight. And you can see that I've overlapped it, and that's the way you should sew it. And I'm using a zigzag stitch to hold the elastic together. You wouldn't want the elastic to break once you'd finished the skirt, so make sure you sew it securely. Now place the elastic inside the tube and using your zipper foot, stitch around the waistband to hold it into position. When you use the zipper foot, you can stitch right up against the elastic and it makes a nice tight tube. Pin the waistband onto the skirt, matching the seam of the waistband with one side seam of the skirt. Stitch using your zipper foot again. You can neaten this seam too if you like at this point by overlocking or zigzagging. Fold up and pin the hem and stitch it into position.